2021, researchers at a Brazilian university were filming a sleeping octopus. Routine observation. The octopus was resting on the bottom of its tank, pale, still, completely quiet. And then it wasn't. Waves of color swept across its body in seconds, deep brown to chalk white, mottled patterns blooming across its arms, dissolving, blooming again in a different configuration. Its suckers contracted, its arms curled and twitched, its eyes, still closed, moved rapidly beneath their lids. The researcher didn't move. She just kept the camera running. The footage went everywhere. Millions of people watched a sleeping octopus do something that had no clean explanation. And the question the video generated, the question in the title of this video, is still not fully answered. But we're closer than most people know, and what we found on the way to the answer is stranger than the question. Let's start with what's confirmed. Octopuses have two sleep states. Researchers documented this precisely, publishing the results in the journal iScience. There is a quiet phase, still body, pale skin, slowed heart rate, minimal movement. And there is an active phase, color changes, arm movement, eye movement, skin texture shifting actively across the body surface. The active phase lasts 40 to 60 seconds, then quiet again, then active, cycling through repeatedly across the sleep period. In humans, sleep has the same basic architecture: deep, slow-wave sleep, then lighter, active sleep, REM, then deep again. And it is during REM that humans dream. The brain during REM is almost as active as when fully awake. The eyes move beneath their closed lids because they are tracking the visual content of what the brain is generating. The body is chemically paralyzed to stop you from acting it out. The octopus is not paralyzed during its active phase. Its arms move, its skin fires, its suckers grip at nothing. Whatever is happening in its nervous system during that phase is generating full-body behavioral responses. The question researchers have been working toward is whether that constitutes a dream, and the color changes are the key to answering it. Here is the fact that changes everything about this conversation. Octopuses are completely colorblind. They have a single type of photoreceptor in their eyes, one, which means they cannot distinguish between wavelengths of light. They do not see color the way you do. In the technical definition, they do not see color at all. And yet their camouflage is not approximate. It is perfect. Researchers place a complex patterned background into a tank, and within seconds, an octopus matches it completely. The specific hues, the saturation, the texture, the exact pattern, without being able to perceive color through its eyes. The leading explanation is that the octopus sees through its skin. Its body surface is covered in light-sensitive proteins. It may perceive color not as a single centralized image in its brain, but as distributed sensory input from thousands of points across its entire body. It builds its camouflage from the outside in. Now think about what that means for the sleeping octopus in that video. The color changes during active sleep are not random. Researchers comparing footage of sleeping octopuses with footage of the same individuals actively hunting have noted something specific. The patterns correlate. The configurations that appear during sleep match the documented camouflage patterns from actual hunts. This is the answer to the question in the title. The octopus is not dreaming of abstract color. It is reconstructing a specific sensory experience. A crab moving across a particular reef texture, the light conditions of a specific hunt. Its skin, which is also its eye, is replaying what it experienced. The camouflage fires because the memory fires, and the memory and the camouflage are the same system. It is dreaming of the hunt, probably the last one, possibly a specific prey animal. Its entire body is telling us this while it sleeps. That is the answer, but it is also the beginning of a much stranger question. An octopus has 9 brains, one central brain, a ring of neural tissue wrapped around its esophagus, inside its mantle, and 8 separate neural clusters, each in one arm. Each arm ganglion contains hundreds of thousands of neurons. 2/3 of an octopus's total neurons are not in its head. They live in its arms. Each arm can taste, smell, feel texture, grip, and make basic navigational decisions independently of the central brain. The central brain sends general instructions. The arms execute them with significant local autonomy. An octopus arm severed entirely from the body continues responding to stimuli for up to an hour on its own remaining neural hardware. When this animal sleeps, when the color patterns fire, and the arms curl and twitch, and the suckers contract, what is dreaming? The central brain, certainly, but the arms are also active. Their suckers move in the specific coordinated patterns of grasping prey. Each arm may be processing its own version of the sensory memory, its own record of touch, texture, resistance, temperature. A human dream happens in one brain, one continuous perspective, generating one experience. An octopus dream may be happening in 9 places simultaneously, 9 semi-independent processors, each carrying its own sensory history of the hunt, each contributing something to whatever the animal is experiencing. Whether those 9 versions are unified into one experience, whether the octopus has one dream, or 9 dreams, or something for which neither word is adequate, is a question that current neuroscience does not have the tools to answer. What does it feel like to dream as 9 distributed selves? There is no framework yet. We are genuinely in unmapped territory. Here is the thing that makes this bigger than an interesting biology story. Octopus intelligence did not come from the same source as yours. The last common ancestor between a cephalopod and a vertebrate was a simple, nearly brainless marine creature that lived approximately 600 million years ago. Everything the octopus has built since then, its problem-solving, its memory, its documented ability to recognize individual human faces, its play behavior, its distinct personality that researchers describe with the same vocabulary they would use for mammals, was built from scratch, on a completely separate evolutionary timeline, on a completely different neural architecture. Philosophers of biology call octopuses and their relatives a second experiment in intelligence, not a variation on the vertebrate model, a completely independent attempt by evolution to construct a mind, with different materials, on a different schedule, with no shared blueprint. That second experiment produced an animal that uses tools, that escapes enclosures and puts itself back before researchers notice, that gets bored, that has preferences, that when it encounters something it doesn't understand, investigates it with what looks from the outside indistinguishable from curiosity. And this animal, alien in its architecture, alien in its sensory experience, alien in the very structure of what it means for it to have a self, sleeps. And during that sleep, it does something its nervous system generates internally, something that produces behavioral responses across its entire body, something that reconstructs specific memories. Evolution built consciousness twice, from different materials, on different continents of the evolutionary tree, and both times it arrived at the same destination. So, what is an octopus dreaming of? The crab, almost certainly. The specific crab, from the specific hunt, on the specific reef. Its skin remembers exactly what that looked like. Its arms remember exactly what that felt like. And while it rests in the dark, its entire body replays it. That is the scientific answer. That is what the evidence points to. But here is what matters more than the answer. There are 2 kinds of mind on this planet. The kind you have, centralized, sequential, built by vertebrate evolution over hundreds of millions of years, experiencing the world through 5 dedicated senses from one continuous perspective, and the kind it has, distributed across 9 nodes, tasting the world through its skin, seeing color without eyes, dreaming in a way that involves 8 semi-independent processors simultaneously. Both of them, at the end of a day of living in their completely different worlds, go somewhere. Somewhere internal. Somewhere that replays what mattered. We call it dreaming. They do it in a way we don't have words for yet. But they do it too, and they've been doing it for 300 million years, alone, in the ocean, with no one watching. Until 2021, when someone finally left the camera running.